The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Thinking about what could have been. This was the year, guys.
Beatable.
This was the year, guys. This was the year.
I've come to the realization the Cowboys aren't going to the Super Bowl after all.
It finally set in.
It's finally just now. With this victory, Monday stampede, I just realized it ain't happening this year.
Well, there's victories in two other places.
There is.
And sorrow in two other places.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
Right. At least we don't have to. We don't have the sorrow that they have in Kansas City this morning.
Yeah, I was just telling the guard down the hallway. I said, when you lose games like that, there's 1,000 reasons why, and they're having to go through that today in Kansas City, along with San Francisco.
I think the only thing about it, if you look at, failure this year, which, God, there was a lot of, with the upsets and all, there was a lot of it, a lot of failure that you just didn't see coming. You didn't see the Packers losing. You just didn't see it coming. You got a quarterback that could be MVP, and he retired. You know what I mean? He retired. Well, did he retire?
We think
ESPN.
Everybody's saying he has.
ESPN.
Adam Schefter, he came out first, right?
Hasn't come out of his mouth yet.
There's a lot of people who would like to hear Adam Schefter retire.
Right.
Maybe Tom Brady will announce that Adam Schefter
And it's
retired.
amazing.
Don't do that to me.
After Adam Schefter reported, Ian Rappaport suddenly had sources that told him the same thing. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
But when you look at it and you compare failures, if it wasn't for them winning the Super Bowl, the Chiefs would be that team that you would say, they chiefed it up. You know what I mean? They chiefed the game up. So they become this verb. And I think it's just because they have so much confidence in what they're doing, sometimes they can get really foolish on that offensive side of the Chiefs, and it cost them. This year, it cost them.
We'll get into that over the course of the next hour here on Mick Shots.
On a Monday.
Yeah, and we moved to Monday. We switched with teammates, and so next week we will be back at our normal off-season Thursday time.
I won't see you guys for over a week.
Yeah.
What will I do?
That's sad.
What will I do?
But it's a great. I love the fact that we're doing Monday this week because we can talk about what everybody watched on Sunday and spin it in a Cowboys way. What can this team learn from not only what happened on Sunday, but the teams that are making it to the Super Bowl, the Rams as well as the Bengals, and how they put their teams together. It's very interesting to figure that out and see what we can learn from them.
Well, the thing we talked about after the Cowboys lost, and I think after the next round of games, that the teams that advanced generally had the better offensive lines in the game.
There you go, Spags.
In this one, the second game, neither team could run the ball much, right? But protecting the quarterback in both games needed to be at a premium if you were going to win. I saw somebody had a stat when Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't pressured. He had completed 80% of his passes.
It was so easy to see.
And then when he was pressured, it was like 2 for 9.
Yeah.
Well, shocking, right? That's the name of the game. Get pressure on a quarterback, and he's not going to be as good as he can stand in the pocket. Did you see that first half, the time Mahomes had in the pocket?
Yes.
He was looking right. He was looking middle. He was looking left. Oh, no, I'm going to go down this way. Unbelievable the time he had. And then when the pocket disappeared, all of a sudden started making
uncharacteristic
mistakes.
He looked human.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So what I took from all this stuff is that offensive line better be good if you're going to succeed in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
Now you guys can pick something else.
And I agree. And going into the Cincinnati-Kansas City game with what Kansas City realized that after the Super Bowl last year. They had to improve that offensive line. They acquired Orlando Brown. They have 2 rookies starting on the offensive line who are very good players, and they shored it up. And then you saw what happened with Joe Burrow last week against Tennessee, getting sacked 9 times.
Yeah.
And so who would have thought that Cincinnati, and you go through the whole first half of that game, and I'm going, well, we had some great games last week, but this first one this week, it certainly isn't going to shape up that way. And then all of a sudden, it shaped up that way.
Yeah.
And credit Cincinnati for figuring out a way to protect Burrow enough to where he could make plays, and they were able to establish enough of a running game, to bleed the clock and gain control of that game.
I think what you saw was those stats and all of that we care about. Once again, first thing priority. Protect your quarterback as much as possible. But when it's all said and done and you can't do what you want to do, matchups are extremely important in the playoffs. Can your playmakers still come through no matter what? They don't sit back there and start counting the sacks. They're like, okay, we're still going to move forward in spite of the fact that we're giving up sacks. They stay focused on the task at hand. And when it comes to the playoffs, you just got to have a totally different attitude. You can't be about numbers. It can't be about what you're looking like. It can't be about, we're inconsistent. Everybody's inconsistent in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's because you come up against good defenses. So we sit here in Dallas, and we're always worried about optics. We worry a lot about optics and how it looks, and it affects the way we make our play calls. To me, as far as I'm concerned, matchups are the way to go. You tell me you can whoop my man Michael Parsons. You tell me you can whoop my man Trayvon Diggs. You tell me you can whoop my man Gallimore. If you can beat those guys, then you can have it. But the game plan, to me, is secondary to how well you match up with the other team.
If I had told you in the NFC game that Cooper Kupp was going to catch 11 passes for 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Odell Beckham, 9 passes for 113 yards. Matthew Stafford was going to go throw for 337. They would have scored 40 points.
That's right.
They end up with 20. 20.
And one reason they end up with 20 and not 27 is because Cooper Kupp dropped a touchdown pass.
and so
he would have had another 80 yards on that, whatever the length of that was going to be.
20, they're beatable, right? San Francisco ends up with 17, right? They probably would have ended up with 17 against the Cowboys had they not had the interception that gave them the easy of touchdown.
And how many did they have against Green Bay? They had 13, and it was a special teams touchdown.
Right.
They got them to 13.
Right. Yeah. They didn't have it. They didn't have an offense.
I mean, we saw.
So the hard time, those teams were beatable. They were beatable.
This was our year, Spags. This was it. I said it as this was our year. If you're going to do it with this team, this year we could have done it. And all excuses aside, you look at how well we played even as badly as we played, still had a chance to beat San Francisco, who barely beat Green Bay, who barely lost to the Rams. The parity, I hate to use that word, but that word, it's what we have. And it was really in spades this year. This was the year that we really could have done it. And really, without even playing our best, we still could have done it. That's how weird these playoffs are. And I'm telling you, it's all about matchup and just how many guts, what kind of guts do you have? You know what I mean? I mean,
you're going to get hit in the mouth in the playoffs.
And Burrow's got hit in the mouth. Not how many times he gets sacked again?
9 times last week against Tennessee.
No, this week they did good. He only got sacked, I think, once or nones.
Once or nones?
Once or nones. I don't
think I've ever said that word before.
I got it right here. One time. And he was only hit 4 times.
coming off of last week, that's a great adjustment to make.
Exactly.
That's
right.
a great adjustment to make. No wonder he felt so
And
comfortable.
by the way, I didn't realize it. Former Cowboys offensive line coach is Cincinnati's line coach, Frank Pollock, who these guys really liked here. And they let him go for Paul Alexander, if we remember.
There's a trade with Cincinnati. The
Basically.
former longtime Cincinnati Bengal offensive line coach came here, and Pollock landed there.
And he's still there.
And they spent a first-round draft pick on a tackle from Alabama, but he doesn't have all that much to work with. They haven't invested like a lot of people in Cincinnati had wished they did in their offensive line, but they made the investment they needed to make and that was at the quarterback position.
And I had forgotten that until I saw him on the sideline in a shot, and I go, wait a minute, that's Pollock. He's still there. And
what else was missing from this entire weekend? I just did not see a lot of it at all, and it made for good football. Penalties.
How about that?
Come on, man.
And guess what?
It was so enjoyable to watch the game.
Kansas City-Cincinnati game, and the Bill Vinovich was the referee on that game, and I understand his crew during the regular season.
His crew,
not this crew, but his crew during the regular season called the fewest penalties in the entire league. Now, you probably can a referee, even with an all-star cast of officials around him. The referee can set the tone.
Yes.
Okay, we're not going to call ticky-tack stuff.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this
playoffs,
or whatever.
Man.
Yeah. And by the way, there was a couple of plays in the opening drive for Kansas City where you could have made interference calls.
That's right.
I'm sure Cincinnati fans were yelling, and if it was Anthony Brown, they would have called it.
Yeah, that first drive. They had a couple of them they could have called.
That's right. But it was. We were into the second quarter before the first penalty flag was thrown, and it was an obvious false start or something like that. And
how about this? The other crew for the NFC game, Carl Sheffers.
The most penalties
called. And in this game, they only called 8.
And it came from the top of the league there.
And only 2 against the Rams. Only 2. And I saw, I think it was the second game, a couple delay of games that didn't get called. And it was obvious.
Wait, I'm thinking of the horn.
You're thinking of me, right?
I'm thinking of the horn. Where's the foghorn? Because it's at crucial times of the game as well. Crucial times of the game.
Yes.
And they just let it slide.
They just act like it didn't happen.
Yeah. It was at least a half a second.
All right, there was one.
You know what? And by the way, I ran into a guy that does some college games, and basically he kind of said that if it's like really close, the conferences want you to just let it go.
Let it go.
Unless it's
delays
just
a game.
egregious, like 2 seconds.
Which they did have one of those yesterday. Yeah.
But if it's like
on zero and they're snapping.
Right.
Whatever.
TV,
right?
They want to see offense, right? They want to see.
And that's what they did yesterday.
They don't want the stoppage in play, especially as long as college games are. Good grief.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but to that point, there was one in the second. I guess it was in the. I think it was in the second half of the Kansas City game. It was a long pass crossing route to Tyreek Hill, and when they ran the play. He was in the inside. They had 3 receivers to the left. They had receiver on the line of scrimmage out wide. They had one flanked, and then he was the inside slot, and he was closer to line. And I'm telling you, he was on the line of scrimmage. So he was covered by the outside wide receiver. He makes the catch. And I said, well, there's got to be a flag on that.
Right.
And I went back and looked at it, and I took a picture of it. I can send you the picture.
Yeah.
He clearly was at the line of scrimmage. They didn't call it.
No, Romo pointed it out.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear that.
He pointed it out.
I was probably backing up my DVR.
And he pointed out, he goes, look, that's too many guys on the line of scrimmage.
Okay, right.
He goes, they can't have 8.
Right.
And they let it go. And the sideline was complaining, too, by the way.
It may have been a different play. They may have been done it on multiple plays where they were just ignoring it. You know,
that was their formation. That was a heavy formation. They win that all the time.
Yeah, and I went back and I texted it to Babe Laufenberg, and Babe's like, "Oh yeah, it's good." And I said, "Well, he's even with the tackles. Either Tyreek."
Why are you calling Babe? Come on, what? You got me over here. You calling Babe? I'll take your call, Bill.
And but Babe is an aficionado of rules.
Yeah. He just doesn't see them well. He knows them. He just can't recognize
and the amazing things with Sheffers, his crew being the lead, he beat Hockley after Hockley called 28 penalties in the Cowboy game.
Mm-hmm.
He still wasn't first. So that tells you how many penalties they were called.
Yeah.
But they backed off. They let him play. Right? There was a taunting penalty that was stupid.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
That was dumb.
It was
on the sideline after
it was
tackle.
on 51 or
I
something. I think he stepped over the guy or something, and they called taunting. It's like
Aziz Al-Sharir.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Do you want to get to the end of the first half of the Kansas City game?
Yes.
Okay. All right. 5 seconds. First off, it was 9 seconds left. They ran one play. Oh, now it's 5 seconds left. They have no timeouts left. They're ahead 21-10. What are you doing in that situation?
You mean the great Andy Reid didn't do it right?
I saw that.
The great Patrick
Mahomes.
Yeah, and Mahomes thought he had a timeout left. At the end of that play,
You saw that? Did you see that?
At the end of that play, he's trying to call a timeout.
Yeah,
That's
he looked
right.
And
he
beyond
looked
that,
perplexed. What
happened?
happened?
The sense of timing on as soon as the first read wasn't there, okay. And he double clutched, and then he threw it out to
That was
Tyreek.
it. It was done.
The half's over.
It was
okay,
done.
Because he did it on first down.
Right.
With 9 seconds to go, it wasn't open, and he threw it in the ground in the end zone.
Right.
He should have done that again.
Exactly.
He would have had another play.
It's a plant. 5 seconds left. It's a plant first read. If it's there,
right,
go for it. If not, you're throwing it away.
Because Romo pointed out that
and then you got 1 second
9 seconds, you can get 3 plays off. He goes, now you got
Romo thing.
Romo, right? But he was thinking 3 plays. Snap, throw.
Yes.
Snap, throw.
Yes.
4 seconds each time.
You
right?
can't pump fake.
Yeah, that's right, and that's 3 plays.
If you pump fake,
that's right.
If you pump fake, easily that's going down to 2 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And so, and you just did it. You went from 9 to 5. Now you can go 5 to 1. And it's the same principle.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not there, you can't double clutch and then throw it now. Okay, now half's over. And I just thought it was amazing that Mahomes didn't have the presence of mind.
Did you hear what Reid did?
No, he took the fall for it.
He fell on the sword.
Yeah.
Said, I could have given him a better play.
Right.
And it's like, okay, maybe, but it didn't work.
But
just throw it in the ground.
But you have to get points there.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it felt like that they were so in control of the game.
Nah.
But huge touchdown for Cincinnati was getting it to 21-10.
P. Ryan, your boy.
Yeah, that's
Oklahoma,
right. Samaje.
Yeah. I love that name. P. Ryan.
There were 2 great runs.
And both of them from OU running backs, yes.
That one?
Mm-hmm.
No, the one I was thinking.
Mixon's.
Mixon's was good, but Debo's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's
that
no
was pretty
joke.
strong.
Yeah.
That was pretty strong. Because he ran right through a linebacker.
But
he just became a superstar.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people loved him before, but now everybody knows him.
Yeah.
See, everybody's late to my party. But at the end of that half, even if they had kicked a field goal, you don't know that, okay, those 3 points would have changed the whole game. It had made it a little difficult, but Cincinnati did a heck of a job that second half, especially Burrow, keeping his composure, not trying to win the game on one play. And when he didn't have something there, he helped out his offensive line running.
His running backs helped him out a lot. They were outlets for him, and when they threw the ball to him, they weren't surprised.
Right.
Sometimes Zeke looked like he's so surprised that Dak throws him the ball out in the flat. So these guys, when they caught it, they were ready to go. The running backs did a lot in this game. Pirine and Mixon. They did a great job, and that's where the matchups come in. They knew that they were going to be so far deep. I mean, the linebackers were nowhere to be found for KC
because they thought they can control it with their front. It was the same thing the Cowboys faced, right? The teams thought, especially San Francisco, we can control your run game with our front, but you're not going to throw the ball down the field.
And I got to say, I hate giving quarterbacks too much credit, but probably one of the better plays of that game was when Burrows broke Chris Jones. Sack tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that to me, that.
It's huge.
He broke it twice, right? Even when he escaped.
That's right.
He's diving at his feet, and he
then
still
he
got
had
out
the wherewithal to make the first down. That was huge, and it uplifted the team itself.
You know, the other thing that was big in that game was the fact that Kansas City was clicking on offense in the first half. I mean, they were, and it was all underneath stuff. I mean, it was, they were taking what the defense gave them. But the key on that was, and I think in the game, Kansas City only had 2 plays of over 20 yards. That's what I heard this morning. I haven't confirmed it. But when you look at it, look at the number of possessions that Kansas City had in the first half. Yeah, they were scoring touchdowns on them, but they only had 21 points. Yeah. Okay, and they scored on their first 3 possessions, and then they only had 4 possessions in the first half of that game, and then they get the ball again to start the second half, which was the other reason why take the point. You got to get the points. You're getting the ball back again. Right. You know,
and that's some of the things that quarterbacks don't see. The guys that I definitely noticed during the game. I just hate watching wide receivers just release off the line of scrimmage with no one hindering their progress. Tyreek Hill was coming off the line of scrimmage. No one was touching him when he was in that slot position. Mm-hmm. He was the guy that they're going for. The DBs, if you're a cornerback and you're lined up on him and you just open up they call it the saloon door. Mm-hmm. That's what they call it. You open up the saloon door, your safety is immediately under pressure. So that's why he was so successful in the first half. And I remember fussing at my son. I'm sure he's like, Dad, will you shut up? I remember fussing at my son saying, why are they giving him a free release?
Well, they did the same thing to Kupp.
What? In the Cincinnati game, second half, they changed it.
They changed it, right?
They gave him free release when he was lined up outside. But if he lined up inside, they finally started pressing him. And now there's no more pressure on the safety.
So that's why you're looking at Mahomes going, and Mahomes gets rattled because
he's looking for him
guy
now.
in
He's
there.
Not open anymore.
Yeah, so check this out.
Let's be real before he goes. Mahomes really eyeballs his receivers way too much. Mm-hmm. And if any defensive coordinator, I'm sure that's what they're catching up to right now. They're finally catching up to him. He does not do well coming off of his first read.
They had 292 yards in the first half. Second half, Kansas City, 83 yards. 83.
Looking for Hill. They're looking for him all day long. And what happens when they finally try to force it into him? Safety makes.
Did you notice what they were doing with Kelsey in the second half? Okay. Because that's the other thing. It's either Hill or Kelsey or his guys. Yeah. It's probably Hill first read, Kelsey second.
Yes. But you got Kelsey for 50, but then, you got Hill for 50, but Kelsey might go for 15. Yeah. I'll take the 15. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
And they did the same with Kupp. When he went in the slot, they gave him like a 5-7 yard release. It's like, what are you doing?
You got to get up on guys.
On that one touchdown, which was a great route on his part.
Heck of a route.
So he gets on the safety, right?
And how did he get on the safety? Free release.
Free release for like 10, 15 yards, right?
Yes.
And then he cuts in, and the cornerback, for some reason,
bites up.
13. It was 3rd and 13 or 2nd and 13.
He's up on the back.
He's up on the short guy, and he's supposed to follow underneath, right?
I don't know how many picks I've gotten doing that. Yeah.
And how about Beckham in these playoffs?
Loving it, man.
You know, and he is in these playoffs for the Rams. He is what Antonio Brown was last year for Tampa Bay.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at what his reputation is, it's all about me, and it gets back to what you're talking about in the playoffs. You got to be about team.
Right.
You know.
See, I think when those guys get with a good team, they defer right? When they think they're with some scrubs, I got to be the guy, right? But when he gets there, it's like, okay, this Cup guy's pretty good, and the quarterback's not bad, and we got a running game.
I better get a rapport with both of them, which is what he has.
Right, because you know what? My
and it's a short time frame, too. It's only a month long.
Yeah, but maybe he was smart enough to realize. See what happens by training camp. Maybe he was smart enough to realize, okay, my career right now is on a shoestring.
Oh, he was. There's no doubt about it.
If I screw up here,
they are playing for money in the playoffs too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And it's not in comparison to what their salaries are. It doesn't compare. But if you go and win a Super Bowl, that endorsement money is like
that's what they're looking at.
Guess what they're
looking
at. Guess what he had? He had playoff incentives. I didn't write it down, but he made a hell of a lot of money in incentives.
I remember the contract.
Over these three, how many? They played 3 games?
Yeah.
3 games. He made a hell of a lot of money.
Which is what an AB could have done as well.
Yeah.
If he would have kept his clothes on.
Right. All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in just a moment.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
Let's get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, sharing starting at just $20. Join now and get your fan pack, exclusive benefits, and more. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United for details, and by golly, join today.
That was close.
All right.
I was sitting right here.
That was good. Right at the last second, you came
So
up
let
with
me
your
pick
read.
up where I left off before we move on. Odell Beckham Jr. is heading to the Super Bowl with the Rams. Mm-hmm. He earns $750,000 incentive for their win today. He's already collected $2 million in playoff win incentives this month, with another chance for $1 million more if they win the Super Bowl.
So he's getting $3.75 million for this 4-game playoff run if they win the Super Bowl.
And whatever the share is.
And then the share on top of it.
Right.
And then endorsement deals on top of that. And a new contract.
Yeah, because he only signed a 1-year deal.
Yeah. So there you go.
He's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
What a good time to be a free agent.
All right.
Unlike, I don't know if I can say it right, Jaquiski Tartt.
Jaquiski Tartt.
What happened?
He had the drop interception.
With the drop.
I thought of you when that happened, by the way.
Man.
As a matter of fact, I went back and watched it, and Joe Buck goes, and the pass is intercepted. Oh, he dropped it.
That was worse than Brown, right?
Right.
Was it worse than Brown? I mean, come on, man. Talk about just in your belly. That's.
You know what he did? He did the what's the scissor hand thing?
Yeah. He whiffed.
He went like this.
He whiffed. Yeah.
I've seen Tony Dorsett do that, trying to catch passes. We used to call them crazy hands because sometimes
he was backing up like that.
No,
backing up.
Yeah,
this looked like a punt.
Yes,
like a punt.
It was right in his bread basket.
That was horrible.
I bet it left a sour taste in his mouth.
It let Matthew Stafford. It let you know Matthew Stafford's arm is not what it used to be.
I should have got. I should have got a Mick shot on that one, by the way.
In the
tart, sour.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good.
I didn't even tone it out. Guys, don't even listen to me.
You finally figured out.
We're not. Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm looking at what Bill's got to say.
You're missing good stuff.
The interesting thing on that dropped interception, what happened with San Francisco on the previous possession? All right, when San Francisco's on offense, they faced a 4th and 2, and now Shanahan's getting second guessed for not going for it like the Rams went for it, and they were stopped short with the Stafford quarterback sneak.
That's right.
Okay, and the 49ers stop him.
He looked like he made it.
And
did you think he made it?
I thought he was short.
I thought he was short.
You did too.
Yeah. Okay, so they decided not to go for it, okay, and they punted the ball away. Rams took over at the 15-yard line, and the first play, Tart drops the interception. So had Tart caught the ball, then they have the ball whatever yard line with a first down. Let's say it's even at the 45-yard line.
It was pretty far downfield.
It was all the arm that Matthew had.
So I have
all his arm.
I have no problem with Shanahan's decision not to go for it on 4th and 2. It was early fourth quarter. And you punt them down, and the defense made the play. I mean, they had the play to be made.
Was it close?
It was San Francisco was up 17-14.
14, yeah.
And they held them to
17,
a field goal.
Yeah.
So it was 17. Mm-hmm. But if you go for it and you give them the ball at the 50-yard line,
right
now they ain't got to go far to get a touchdown.
Right. They had to go 85. Well, it was they started at their own 15, and so 28 and 35. They went 63 yards to kick a field goal.
Right.
Whatever. But your defense, on the first play after that decision, your defense was in position to make an easy play to get you the football back with 9.5 minutes left in the game, and now you have an opportunity to run clock, and you're in field goal range with that kicker that they have, at least, so.
Well, you can see the weakness of their defense is the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the front
just
six is their strength.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. But still, you have to have that kind of knowledge. When you have a chance to make that kind of play, oh man, you talk about being a hero.
And then worse, after they kicked the field goal, they basically went 3 and out, and they had a 5-yard penalty.
Well, and then
game.
That's when Jimmy G became Jimmy G too. and the last play of the game, he passed the torch to Trey Lance.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes,
well. It was that or take a sack.
Yeah, but it's not like it wasn't like
I know,
Kyler Murray.
It was third down. So
but
don't do that
like
on third down.
Thing. It wasn't like he was in the end zone either. You got to take that sack and be.
If it's fourth down, I understand the heat.
And when I saw it, I thought it was fourth down.
No,
it was third.
It's third down, and that's why you have to take care of it. All right, Cowboys made some news on Friday. Mickey.
Yes, they did. Jerry Jones spoke about that. And
Dan Quinn is back.
And Dan Quinn's back. We'll see what happens with Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy's back, by the way. Mm-hmm. Not sure that was – look, I wrote about it, and it dawned on me that after the game – was it Monday, Tuesday, when Stephen Jones did his radio segment, and he was asked the question about Mike McCarthy.
That was the Monday after the
Monday
game.
After the loss, right? And is Mike McCarthy going to be your head coach in 2022? Mm-hmm. And he said, absolutely. Absolutely.
Fully confident.
Totally confident. Very confident, or what was it? Very confident. Absolutely. Very confident. And everybody just dismissed it like he's some sort of
Well, you know what happened.
underling. I know. But everybody forgot about it, right? He is the COO, right?
Yes, he is.
He is the guy that does the day.
He's not just Jerry's son.
Right. He does the day-to-day stuff, right? He doesn't normally speak out of turn, like say something off the cuff.
He does not.
Right? He knows what's going on. But that didn't matter when Jerry said nothing on, when did Jerry do his? Wednesday? Friday?
It was he had went to Madden's memorial service the next day, so it was later in the week. It was Thursday or Friday. It might have been Friday.
I think it
well,
was
they tried
Friday.
to make something out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And he never addressed, and because he didn't address it, then that meant he left Mike McCarthy twisting in the wind. When he did address it with him, as he pointed out, right?
Yeah. How was McCarthy twisting in the wind? He was twisting in the wind only in the minds of the media and fans out there who think that Jerry was going to make a change. Behind the doors here, there was probably no indication. So he's not twisting in the wind.
Jerry pointed out he was only twisting in the wind of you guys, and he didn't. And he said, and I don't mean you guys, the guys on the fan. He goes, I meant the media.
Yeah.
He said, because if you look at it, when Mike was asked about it, he said, Jerry and I talked, and I'm here. He said what you didn't hear or didn't want to recognize didn't come from Jerry.
Right.
This is not the first time Jerry played coy on something publicly, right?
And he just let Steven speak.
Yeah, and Steven said it. Steven doesn't just say stuff to say stuff, right? And so, yeah, so he kind of tried to clear that up, and now everybody thinks he's lying.
Well,
they still don't, if you listen to talk radio or if you listen to read the column in the morning news, it was like, no, he's not telling the truth.
If you listen to talk radio, then this is all blamed on Sean Payton. If you listen to talk radio, because there was a point in the interview where, I think he said something that left the door open to criticism for McCarthy, or that he would be kind of waiting in the wings if things don't go well here in Dallas. So now everyone is thinking...
He didn't really say that.
Everyone is thinking that this is going to be the hottest seat for a coach in the NFL. That part I do agree with. I have to agree with that part, because we really were disappointed ourselves this year.
Well, I understand that.
I think there's a standard that Jerry's going to set between he and McCarthy, that we have to get to this particular point as a team. And so now with Sean Payton sitting there, he'll be commentating or whatever he's going to be doing. Everyone's thinking that he's just going to be keeping the seat warm for Sean Payton.
I'll tell you
when
what,
the season's over next year.
If he's commentating and finds out that there's another life out there, that I don't have to work 7 days a week and I can make this amount of money.
And don't have to move. I don't have to move back.
I make twice as much as what an NFL head coach makes.
Yeah. Then why would I ever go back to coaching? Right.
That little caveat right there, that kind of gives people something to chew on.
Yeah,
for the
I
entire
understand.
Season, off-season
and it will.
Season.
And it
yes,
will.
It will.
It will.
Yes,
it won't go away.
It will not.
I understand that. But as Sean pointed out, I heard later on some interview that he had never talked to Jerry, and Jerry had never talked to him. But everybody's lying. So, but yeah, and so I know he went through this kind of long way around to say, well, yeah, I was just posturing because I wanted to make sure teams weren't thinking we didn't want Dan Quinn, right? And he said it all the time. We had been in talks with him. He was hoping that if he said the wrong thing, then the ante would go up and they'll know how much.
Quinn?
58? No, that was Peyton. I want to say he was 10 years old when Lawrence Taylor. No, he told the story. He was 10 years old when Lawrence Taylor was drafted.
He's 51.
Because he put
you'll ask what time it is, and Mickey will tell you how to build the clock, and I'll just tell you it's 51.
I made my eggs this morning.
He's 51.
No,
the sausage
no,
is ready.
Go ahead,
It
Mickey.
takes 10 minutes for my sausage.
So when was
my toast takes 3?
When was Lawrence Taylor drafted?
1982. 81.
I'm in the class, guys. I was in the class.
81.
So was 22?
Yeah, he was probably 24.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. So he was drafted 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And Dan said he was 10. So
do the math. 51.
So 51.
Yep, that's right.
If you would have listened to me instead of laughing.
Instead of looking it up.
Look at Wikipedia or something, yeah.
In fact, Lawrence Taylor turned 63 on Friday.
Cool.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Same class as you.
Yeah. I was young for my class, and obviously so was LT. I really thought
he would have been.
I thought he was
he would have been 22 when he was drafted.
Yeah, but
born in 1959.
22 years old.
You think he finished 4 years at North Carolina?
He must have.
I did one of his games.
He must have.
I did one of his games for KGOU Radio, the student station there. J.C. Watson, Oklahoma against
GOU. Oh wow. Okay.
KGOU.
I thought maybe it would be GEOU.
No, KGOU Radio, and Lawrence Taylor and North Carolina Tar Heels were unbeaten coming into Norman, Oklahoma, and they had a 41-7 tattoo.
There you go, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
L who?
Famous Amos Lawrence was a running back.
By the way,
wow, that's right.
Did you see the trophy presentation for Cincinnati?
Oh no,
for Cincinnati, Icky Woods.
That was him?
That was Icky.
Number 30?
I left Icky a text. I have Icky's number.
I looked at that. I go, that can't be Icky Woods.
My wife said the same thing.
Yeah, he came up to Burrow after the game on the field.
I saw that when he was getting
Burrow was
interviewed.
threatening to do the Icky shuffle there.
He had to be 300 pounds.
Yeah. He's been there for a minute.
Really?
Yeah, that's nothing new. Yeah, he didn't just get there.
We talked about that, where a lot of times the running backs and the cornerbacks are 300 pounds, and the offensive linemen are 175.
They're all losing their weight.
I saw him when he hugged him, and I said, "Whose father's that?" or something. I said, "How did that guy get on the field?" Right? Then I saw him on the podium, and I'm going, number 30. That's got to be Icky.
Icky Woods and myself, we had a Super Bowl appearance. It was right after I retired. Oh my goodness! I was in some truck stop casino in New Mexico, and he and I were there together, and we watched the game, and the screen was no bigger than this glass right here.
Our plexiglass protection.
It's no bigger than that. And I said, man, Icky, what are we doing here, man? We just started laughing at each other. Yeah, Icky's been looking like that for a minute.
So his playing weight was 232.
Yeah.
So only going to gain 70 pounds.
Yeah,
right,
there you go.
All, yeah.
Most people gain 70 pounds after they're retired.
So we're good. We're good with Dan Quinn coming back.
I'm good.
I am.
That's a good.
Yes.
I'll vote for it. Yeah.
I sure am.
Okay.
Yep.
And Kellen Moore, it sounded like Jerry felt like he was coming back. Wasn't sure.
He's playing coy on that one.
He was
too.
on the way to Miami. Yeah. So yeah. And so the negative response out there, oh, that's great, everybody's back, and we'll just get beat again in the first round.
Well, the one thing that you have to, as you look at what's going on this year, you can't do anything without an offensive line.
That's right.
I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how cute the plays are. I don't care what kind of misdirection you're looking at. You have got to have an offensive line that can stave off that defensive line so we can make it work.
And Mahomes, that second half, they got after him with only a four-man front.
This seems to be the theme for most successful teams this year.
So why didn't he put the team on his back? All that money he makes?
Well, he tried. Mm-hmm. He tried. And I'm telling you, and that's what there are times, and it's not just the Cowboys, but when you look at football, it's the teams that make the adjustments that are successful. He did all that scrambling around the first half. He did a little bit in the third quarter. After a while, that front four, okay, we've seen all the moves you have.
Right.
They got better and better at corralling him, and the secondary stayed strong. So it wasn't that he was just running around to be cute. Those guys were covered back there, and that defensive line were very strategic in how they approached his sack.
They finally kind of surrounded him instead of going
Jackson
right at him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They actually baited him into making certain moves, and the guys were waiting on him.
Because they came from the outside, and then he tried going up the middle.
You know what he
those
does.
Guys
That's
were
what he
sitting
does.
right there. Right?
That's what he comes up inside, he goes out to the right or left, and then that's how he does his Mahomes things.
And then he tried circling back, and it's like he circled right back into him.
Yeah, that's when you know he was desperate, when he tried to circle back again. That goes to show that he felt the pressure. And even when you look at where they messed up before the first half, that's all about pressure. He didn't just make a mistake on his own. They weren't just feeling the pressure just because they were down there and think they're trying to keep up with the betting line or something. Cincinnati was starting to put that pressure on them, and they became frustrated. Their play calling became limited because their front line started to take away their options.
All right, I've got to take off. Last 15 minutes, it's you two, okay?
I think we can do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm starting my run to the Super Bowl this afternoon. What you're going to see on CBS 11 for the next 2 weeks is any and everybody who has had any kind of relationship with any of the local players in the Super Bowl will be interviewed.
Local players, not
local
just
players,
Cowboy formers.
Yeah, that's right. By the way,
you going out there? You going out there?
I'm not going. No.
Spags?
No.
By the way, Matthew Stafford, I was texting with his high school coach at Highland Park,
yes.
Randy Allen, and I'll tweet it out here after I get done. But he was on the front row at SoFi Stadium, right behind the Rams bench. Randy Allen was Stafford's high school coach, wearing a Matthew Stafford jersey, and so it was a Rams jersey,
okay,
number 9, and so
I heard him say he was going.
Yeah, right. And so that's pretty cool. And so now I guess he's going to be back there in a couple of weeks.
Might as well just stayed, right?
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Well, that's 2 weeks now. It's not 1 week. That's 2 weeks.
And Stafford had 4 of his teammates off the Highland Park High School state championship team from 2005 were also at the game yesterday.
So now when you're going to hook up with Von Miller?
Well, we've got a call in. So, yep.
I was trying to think who else.
Yeah.
By the way, I know some people on the Cincinnati team. I have two people on the Cincinnati team. They're from the Dallas area. I'm going to get back with you on that one, Bill. Yeah. And I'll let you know about
Hakeem
that.
Hakeem Adeniji from Garland High School, offensive lineman, went to Kansas. Yep.
That's the one, Garland High School. That's right.
That's right. Right. And in fact, one of the runs by Mixon, the 23-yard run by Mixon in the first half, he got a shout out from Jim Nance, Hakeem Adeniji, opening up the hole there.
And he knew how to say the name.
That's right. Yeah.
His parents are very close to my sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
The whole Garland thing. Yeah, that's where my people from.
Yep. And by the way, Everson, we talked a little bit about an anniversary last week, and we figured out what anniversary was actually the date of our show last week.
Yeah,
it was
I have
not.
the call.
Oh, we have. In fact, here it is. Chris Beam has it for us right now.
It is
a 47-yard try by Scott Norwood to try to win the game for Buffalo. Lingner will snap it. Wright will hold it. Norwood will kick it from the right hash mark. With 8 seconds left, and the Giants leading Buffalo 20-19. It's a 47-yard kick for the Bills. Norwood assumes the position.
He was white as a sheet.
Lingner waits to snap it. We wait. There's a snap. There's a kick. It is up. It is no good.
Right over my head.
No one missed. 4 seconds left. The Giants have won Super Bowl 25 by the score of 20-19.
I mean, just to think of that, 20-19, the Giants lead the game. How far was that field goal attempt?
41, I believe.
41-yard field goal attempt. And you see all these kickers making all these kicks in these playoffs now, and you go back.
Cincinnati.
You go back. Yeah.
That guy still hasn't missed.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, one thing about Norwood, we knew about him. He doesn't do well. He didn't kick well on natural grass. You know, he was up in Buffalo.
And this was at the Sombrero, too.
Sombrero, yeah. So I know a friend of mine, Thornton Chandler, he doubled his bet down when he saw Norwood practicing on the
No, he
sideline.
did not.
He did. He said, man, that guy is pale. So he does not look right.
He doubled down.
He does not look right. I'm doubling down. Boy, he was so. And by the way, Ron Springs predicted the score. I don't know how.
Really? 20-19. That's a strange score to predict. Wow.
He predicted the score.
I was pale too because I was right on deadline and I couldn't go down like for interview. I had to wait, and it was an open air press box, and my head was out the window looking to see if it was good or not so I could finish my story.
You should have hollered at me, man.
I should have said something, right?
There's a local sportscaster who was pale, too. I won't mention him by name, but he had done, because of satellite difficulties, he had to tape the Open for a sportscast that night, and he did two versions of it. One of it, the Giants win. The other one, the Bills win.
Gee, I wonder
and
who
for the
that
first
guy
time
was.
ever, the Bills won a Super Bowl on his station that night.
Oh, no! They ran the wrong one.
They ran the wrong one.
You're lying.
No. I won't say who it was, but I have personal knowledge of it. So that was, 30 years ago or whatever.
Same guy that didn't put the tie on the preseason game.
There was a game in London where the Cowboys played the.
I was there. Yeah.
No, this was the 93 or
93
game, and it was so because of satellite technology back then, you had to tape everything and send it back, and so he sends one version with the Cowboys winning the playoff game and another one with the Bills that the Cowboys play Broncos.
It was the preseason game.
It was a preseason game, in London, and the other team. He sent a version with the other team where the game ended in a tie.
Well, yeah, that was horrible. Does it rain the whole game?
Yeah. So
he was visiting Big Ben.
Anyway. All right.
Well,
I'm
Bill,
done.
you were supposed to leave 5 minutes.
I was, so I got to get going. So Mick Shots continues in a moment.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man's Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar, and a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Back to Mick Shots.
Whether you're watching from home or cheering in the stands, with SLR lenses, you'll see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local SLR experts and find the perfect SLR lens for you. See more, do more. SLR. As we continue here on Mick Shots on this Monday, the day after the NFL championship games, won by Cincinnati and the Rams, and that will be the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
I didn't think it would be as exciting as last week, but I was wrong.
So if I remember, you took Kansas.
I took KC and the Rams. That's what I took. KC and
Bill
the Rams.
and I took KC and the 49ers.
Y'all took Niners. Damn, y'all missed out all the way.
Wow.
Y'all missed out
I know.
all
We
the
missed
way.
both, right?
Yeah. I just, and even though it was still close, I just didn't think that this is the narrative. This would have been the narrative. I'm at home, new stadium. You come in, you beat me twice and keep me from hosting my own Super Bowl.
And actually 6 times in a row.
6 in a row. So, that would have been pretty bad. And you use all your draft picks.
Right. You went all in, right?
You went all in. So, I just didn't think Aaron Donald was going to let that happen. And I know they double-teamed the heck out of him a lot.
Well, he finally got there the second half, right? Or the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He started giving him problems.
I just kind of like the fact that they gave him as much exposure. I mean, we fall into this pattern. We always have to show quarterback. I told him the other day, I don't even know what was one of the wide receivers. I don't even know what he looks like. You know what I mean? Because they never find them with their helmets off. But to see Aaron Donald, they caught his emotions, and for him to end it with that climax, that was pretty timely and pretty cool.
So the Van Jefferson, he'd be their other wide receiver.
Yeah. Now he didn't play. Did he play yesterday?
Oh yeah, he was the one that he was thrown to when the ball was intercepted.
He didn't throw to him much at all.
I know.
I guess that's what happens when you got Beckham and Cup.
As a matter of fact,
was that his only target?
He got 5 targets, 2 catches for 9 yards.
Wow. When you throw for 337, it's kind of easy to forget that.
And they had lost their tight end too, by the way.
Yeah,
he went out
down
early, right? And
Blanton
came on and caught 5 passes.
Sure did, didn't he? Clutch passes too, keeping the chains moving. And see, so when you look at our epic failure as Cowboys, you can talk yourself into it not being so epic. You say, okay, well, when it's all said and done, we actually did pretty good.
Yeah.
The disappointment is we know we are better. That's the disappointment, because we've seen it shown and we've seen the inconsistencies. So when we play well, we know that could have been us yesterday.
Yep.
And that's so disappointing, because to me, once again, I thought this was our chance.
And you never know if you had one more play.
Here we go. One more play.
One more play.
I still say, I hate trying to hang our hats on I still wouldn't call it a Hail Mary. What yard line were we on?
They were at the 24.
Not a Hail Mary at all.
But you can run a pattern.
You can still run a pattern. That's
or you
not
can
a Hail
run,
Mary.
as I think Mike pointed out, you can run 5 verticals.
You have to.
You don't have to run a Hail Mary.
And that's what they were waiting on. Everyone knew that.
I heard somebody point this out, that it might have been Aikman on a radio thing. And he said, actually, he goes, that would have been, with the way the 49ers were protecting the sideline, when Dak ran.
Yes.
He said that might have been the best time to run a Hail Mary, because they only had maybe 3-4 guys in the end zone instead of the whole team.
That's right.
Right? And you throw one up.
And once again, I can see CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
He can jump higher than anybody out there.
Which, by the way, I just heard he's a replacement for the Pro Bowl.
I saw that. Yeah.
Good for him.
But what do they do in the Pro Bowl these days?
Nothing. Well,
do they have a game?
They do a skills thing now.
See, but that's not a game.
But they do have a game.
They do have a game.
Oh, yes.
And what do they do?
They play flag football. Or they might as well.
Is it Liberty? I was going to say.
No, yeah.
Because, man, I'm telling you, and once again, we know why it's dropped in significance, because they just don't pay you enough money to
potentially
go out there and
get
risk
hurt,
yourself.
right?
Right. And back then, though, my rookie year, man, we were out there playing so hard. I tried to take on Chuck Muncie. That's 250 pounds. And it was so funny. It was a great play, but, Chuck wasn't trying.
Yeah.
And I was, because Chuck was 27, I was 21.
Now, I don't know if they still do it, but they did change it that the winning team got significantly more money for being there for winning.
But
that doesn't happen until the
fourth. That's good in comparison to what it used to be.
Right.
Because I think we got like 10 and 5.
Yeah, no, it's more than that.
Yeah, of
and
course.
if you win, so those last 5 minutes of the game, if it's close, right?
Oh, man, we were going at it. I hit him I thought I hit him hard. I hit him with all I had. I had snot coming out my nose trying to hit him. That's just how hard I tried to hit him. And he was like, "What are you doing?" He didn't even move. He just went out of bounds. And I was like, I thought I really made a play. And he got the ball. He's like, "What are you doing, young fella?" So even the attitude was there for the older guys at that time, but it wasn't nearly as lackadaisical as it is.
Well, if nothing else, I don't remember what they get paid, but it's a trip to Vegas, so.
See, and that ain't a trip to Hawaii.
Well, I guess
it
it's
ain't
not.
the same. Bro.
Well, it's close though,
no,
right?
No, it ain't, bro. Man, come on, Hawaii.
Well, there's no water. Well, there'll be water in the
there'll
pools,
be water a lot
right?
of places. You can go out to outside a casino where they got a boat out there or something. But no, it ain't the same in Hawaii. Just so much better.
Yeah.
So these young kids like Vegas, though.
Yeah, they do. And they don't have to travel as far, Chris.
And they don't know about Hawaii.
I guess they don't, but they missed it.
Right?
So much fun. So much fun.
All right. We were able to get to 12:30.
12:30.
All right. Well, that's it for Mick Shots on this Monday.
When we coming back?
A week from Thursday.
A week from this Thursday.
At 11:30, right?
11:30, not 11 o'clock.
I started questioning myself. Did I get 11 or 11:30?
And I did not want to be wrong because I clowned you enough already.
I figured if I get here early, at least it's like, hey, where are you at? All righty. So we'll see you next Thursday for Bill and Everson and Chris. Mickey, and thanks for joining us on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.